At Holton, we saw an opportunity, a chance to really get ahead of the curve and transform how we teach and learn. So, to really get our approach to AI, you first have to understand what we're all about. Our mission, cultivating the unique potential of young women, is truly the foundation for the decisions we make. That includes how we handle new technology. It's that vision that led us to this really big, important question.
How do we get students ready to utilize technology and lead lives of positive influence? For us, the answer was to lean into AI and understand it. So our journey started with understanding this new landscape before we made any rules or policies. We gathered data to understand the needs of our students and teachers. It was apparent that students and teachers wished for clear rules. Second, students were already using AI. And third, while the faculty was using it too, they still had serious concerns about things like accuracy, plagiarism, and fairness. This initial hesitation was common, but many teachers soon discovered the benefits of AI in education.
Although I was initially super reluctant to use AI, I found that it's been incredibly helpful in my teaching process.
Our survey found that 96% of the faculty lacked formal training with AI tools. We needed to provide professional development as soon as possible. Because 3 out of 4 teachers were already using AI for their own work, and half of them were using it in their teaching. So the question wasn't if AI was going to be used. It was all about how it could and should be used well and responsibly.
With all this data in hand, Holton Arms was ready to develop a responsible AI philosophy that actually worked for our community. It was really a framework for a whole new culture, one built on being transparent and clear about everything. The new guidelines set clear expectations about using AI ethically, protecting privacy, and of course, the absolute must of citing your sources properly.
As a humanities teacher, I think we have to be really specific about the guidelines that we give our students.
This is where the story gets really interesting. How did we transform philosophy into actions that actually empowered our teachers and students? One of the coolest things we did was our flagship workshop we called AI Tastings. And get this, it included student facilitators from our student AI cohort. It proved to be a productive and symbiotic experience for both the teachers as well as the students.
I really enjoyed being able to interact with teachers in an out-of-classroom setting and learn more about their perspectives as educators. Especially helping them with AI was really insightful into how they perceive it as a tool in education.
The initiative boosted efficacy for both groups. Students felt more capable of facilitating and presenting to teaching staff, and teachers grew more confident in their ability to utilize AI tools in their classrooms.
This gave teachers a chance to have hands-on experience with new AI tools in a safe and supportive environment. But they also got to experience AI through the lens of their students. The students who ran the workshop had a really clear goal.
So part of what we do is helping them kind of get an easy entry into this and understand AI as more of a helper rather than like a cheat.
The impact was almost immediate and infectious. Adoption happened across divisions.
I use AI to help prepare for my classes. Yesterday, I had a slideshow for my class, learning about sort of procedures in our social studies class, and I popped that into Brisk, and it made a quiz, a Google form. I didn't have to come up with the questions. I didn't have to do all of the typing. I didn't have to deal with the logistics of creating a Google form. It did it for me in about 30 seconds. I made 2 quick edits and it's ready to go. So it saves a lot of time just for my thinking process and coming up with new ideas and ways to present information.
I use AI to prep mostly for my courses. If I need to make an instructional video, a lot of times for my upper school class, they'll be doing some work at home, and I want to provide the scaffolding so that they understand the instructions more than just reading it off the paper. AI is really helpful for me creating slide decks so that I can make videos for them to use at home, particularly if a kid is sick or missing school for a certain reason. They have that available and they didn't miss that conversation that we had in class.
I just built an AI chatbot last week to help my advanced topics in U.S. government students study for their first assessment. It will give them some scenarios and lead them through some practice about the constitutional principles and the American political ideals and the roles of the 3 branches of government to really help them deeply understand how those concepts operate within our country.
So I use AI for a number of different things. One, last year I was developing a new course, so I actually used I used Gemini to help me with creating my course curriculum map for the class and the essential questions and how I wanted to map out each unit and where I wanted each topic to fall in that unit.
Teachers across all subjects found AI to be a transformative tool, helping them innovate. At the same time, students like Grace were already weaving AI into their daily study routines.
I use Duolingo every day. If you're not familiar, it's kind of this like language learning software. You can learn different languages. They have various ways that you can learn it, and recently they've been integrating a lot of AI, and I think it's definitely like helped me kind of just like have a more unique way of learning. And also you can have conversations with these like AI voices, which really helps you get that practice that you might not regularly get. I would also say Quizlet. So Quizlet is this thing that like a ton of Holton girls, and I think just like students in general, use. It's this kind of like quiz, you can make flashcards, etc. So there's like a Quizlet AI, where you can use it to kind of generate flashcards from your notes, from kind of like a prompt, etc. And you can also use it to kind of find more pre-made sets. So in that way, I think AI is just it's been very helpful in my everyday life.
I think it helps with a lot of the AI guilt that students are feeling when they use it as a resource. If they want it for practice problems, and having teachers use it as well helps tell the students that it can be okay to use as a resource, of course not to do your work.
This shift in perception was crucial, reinforcing the idea that AI should enhance, not diminish, student learning.
I do think students need help with understanding the benefits of AI and how to use it in a way that is developmentally appropriate and actually really helpful for learning and for their practice, so that it's not taking away from their skill development, right? But it's helping them enhance those skills as they learn from their teacher in their classroom.
And this whole shift had results we could actually measure.
So I think among Grace and I, we've seen an incredible response from teachers on how they best use AI in their classrooms. From a story perspective, for me personally, many of my teachers have used AI in their classrooms and have openly shared that with us. I remember this one time, my biology teacher, she talked to us about the platform Brisk, which is one of the tools that we discussed in our AI tasting workshops, and how we can effectively use that in our studying. And I think that was just one of the many ways that teachers all over the school have been talking to students about AI and how to best use AI in their studying and as well as in their classwork. Even from a data point of view, one of the tools that I personally taught teachers in the workshops was Magic School. And from those workshops, we had before virtually no users at Holton to over 80 users after the workshops. So both from an anecdotal perspective and a statistical perspective, we've really seen an immense amount of growth within the AI realm.
Guided by a commitment to being innovative, proactive, and inclusive, Holton Arms has positioned itself as a leader in AI for education. This leadership was evident during our school-wide accreditation. We leveraged an AI tool called Notebook LM to streamline the arduous months-long process. Notebook LM synthesized documentation with recorded team discussions, then answered accreditation questions. AIMS has adopted our process as the new standard for accreditation with AI. Our measurable strides toward AI integration confirms that we are building a culture where faculty and students are prepared for a future with AI. We are proud of our progress and are committed to continuing this important journey.
Our plan includes constant reviews, more professional development, and even creating department-specific rules, all to make sure our guidelines keep up with this fast-moving technology. When you boil it all down, our whole philosophy is actually pretty simple. Like Roz said,
I think it's the way of the future, and I think the most important thing is that students are being taught how to use it. They have this tool, they have access to it, and so if I can help them and show them ways in which it is helpful for them and not as a crutch, I think that's a really important thing as an educator that I should be doing for them.
And in the end, it all loops right back to our vision, doesn't it? By charting this clear course for AI, Holton Arms isn't just reacting to change. We're out there actively shaping the future of education. We're making sure our young women are truly ready to lead those lives of positive influence in a world that they themselves will help to create.